I'm here with Arthur Parsons, game director from TT Games, and we are talking about LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Now, with this game compared to Marvel superheroes that you worked on prior, that was very comic book centric. Is this one more, I'm assuming, towards the MCU?
It's a bit of both, really.
Okay.
The main story is very much entrenched in Avengers Age of Ultron, as well as some stuff in there from Iron Man 3, Cap Winter Soldier, Thor Dark World. But the free play content, there is an awful lot of comic book and I guess TV show stuff in there as well. So we've got some Agent Carter stuff in there that Haley Atwell voiced. So there's an awful lot of content that is outside of the MCU because it isn't just LEGO Marvel's Avengers. It's kind of, I guess, the Marvel Universe through Avengers glasses. That's the best way of describing the game.
Okay. So since you're going into the TV realm as well, and without necessarily saying anything of any confirmation whatsoever, are there things you haven't announced that will kind of expand on what we've seen in the MCU that has been out there already?
There's definitely things that we've got planned that are not yet announced. So there are things that there's an awful lot of stuff we're going to announce here at New York Comic Con.
Right.
But even then, there is also some stuff we are kind of holding back. But the game is, our target was take LEGO Marvel superheroes and make it better. So that's kind of where we're at.
Was there a limitation as far as plot lines go? Like, are you trying to stick to the plot lines that have been set up in the MCU, or are you given a lot of freedom to bounce outside that area?
Well, the main story is telling that story,
Okay.
but in a obviously whimsical, quirky LEGO way.
Right.
But then outside of it, we've got some pretty wacky stuff out there. Some of the quests, some of the characters, some of the narrative is funny, and there's little nods and Easter eggs to pretty much everything.
Right. And you've announced a lot of newer Marvel characters. You have Falcon in there as his Captain America version.
Yep.
You have Jane Foster Thor in there. And how deep into the well are you digging?
Well, what we wanted to do is make sure that we've got something that appeals to everyone. So, you've got like what are, I guess, considered to be current popular characters, Amadeus Cho, Wiccan, Hulkling, as you say, America Chavez, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So we've got characters like that, but then we've also got classic characters, characters like Fin Fang Foom, who else? We've got Devil Dinosaur, characters that I didn't even know who they were. There's a character called Mighty Destroyer. I was just like, I had no idea.
That's new to me too.
No. So we've got a bit of a mixture. You've got TV related, movie related, and then you've got comic book new, comic book old, and a really nice mix. And as well, you then get to some characters where we put Jessica Jones in, but it's a classic Jessica Jones. It's a character that's obviously going to be current now, but obviously we can't necessarily use that version. So we go with a classic comic book version. Just lots and lots of really, really cool characters.
When you talk about characters that are kind of loved by all, of course you have to bring up Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of versions of Stan Lee in the game. How much fun were those to develop?
Well, those were really exciting because obviously we'd done Stan before. This time round, it was like doing him with a different twist and a different take. So with it being an Avengers-focused game, this time round he has kind of Avengers-based powers. He can suit up into Iron Stan. He also has a Stan Buster, obviously with Iron Man having a Hulk Buster.
To bust himself.
And that way it's a case of kind of almost recreating that magic that we had in the first game of having Stan Lee. And he has more cameos in this game than ever before.
Awesome.
So you'll see him popping up in all kinds of situations where obviously in the movies he isn't. So, ticket collector on the Korean train that crashes, for example.
Right.
So, it's really good fun.
Of the characters you've developed so far, without saying your favorite, because I know that's like picking your favorite child, right? Yeah. Which one are you having the most fun playing as so far?
I think Quicksilver. He's not... technically he's not a massive challenge, but he's incredibly rewarding because as you target a variety of enemies, the whole world slows down, and then he runs just at normal speed and smashes all the bad guys up.
Nice.
But everything just goes, and then it all happens. It comes, he can run up buildings,
right.
And that is a really, really awesome thing. So I think he's my most favorite at the minute. But I do know that there are going to be characters that are probably, going to be even better. So I've always loved Squirrel Girl. This time around we've got classic Squirrel Girl and unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Cool.
But Squirrel Girl is also getting her own Buster. So there's going to be a Squirrel Buster. Yeah. That is shaping up to be probably the most incredible thing in this game, just for quirky fun.
I can hear the applause from the internet right now.
Exactly.
As far as the gameplay goes in this game, you've had past LEGO games that are very open world. You've done some more recently that were kind of like hub-based.
Yep.
What's the play style in this one like?
So this is going to have a big open world Manhattan again,
okay.
like LEGO Marvel Superheroes, but it's also got a number of other open world areas because we wanted to kind of switch things up.
Okay.
So you are going to be able to go to, where are we, South Africa. You're going to be able to go to Asgard. You're going to be able to go to Malibu. You're going to be able to go to Washington, D.C.
Asgard, Malibu.
Little
jump.
It's basically to tie in with the sort of Iron Man 3, Thor 2,
Okay.
Thor Dark World, I should say, Thor Dark World content. So we're using these locations as sort of extra content. Now those aren't as big as Manhattan, but they are still big hub areas that you can go and explore. And I think there's about 8 altogether. So
wow.
So we've kind of notched it up in that regard.
So in addition to exploring the Avengers storyline, you're also going into those branching movies as well.
Yeah, in an abridged format.
Okay.
So, for example, you're able to play as Harley, Keener, and Tony when they're wandering around. When Tony's in his kind of like woe is me moment in Iron Man 3. But then we switch it up, and then you go and you fight Aldrich Killian at the dockyard, and that's pretty exciting. So,
awesome.
Yeah, those are abridged. Kind of like, here's the edited highlights of Iron Man 3.
Right.
The edited highlights of Thor Dark World. You're going to get to go to Svartalheim and fight Curse. You're going to go to Greenwich, and then you're going to get to fight Malekith and stuff. So really exciting stuff.
In a somewhat unrelated question, but somewhat related, LEGO Dimensions, I just have to ask you real quick, like the amount of licenses you poured into that must have been a fanboy's dream come true in a way.
Yeah, well, I work alongside that team. We're on the same floor in the office, and as they were making that, because I'm really good friends with the game director on Dimensions, and when I keep seeing his screen, we could be going out to lunch, and it's just like, did I just see Ghostbusters? Did I just see Homer Simpson? And it's just, that's
unbelievable.
It's really exciting. And the great thing is, I can play that as a fan because. I haven't been working on that because I've been busy on Avengers.
Right.
So then to get the final products and play it's been great fun.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to all the games. LEGO's pouring them out and TT, you guys are just still cranking them out, and they're awesome quality still. So
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Cheers.